As a frugal guy that's always looking to save a few bucks as well as take care of the environment, I really was curious about solar. So in this video, I want to explain to you why I got solar and the things that led to that decision. What's up guys? Welcome back. My name is Brad. I make videos about achieving happiness through positivity, hard work, and financial freedom. Today, I want to talk to you about solar panels on your house and how they can be effective for helping you save money on your electric bill and help the environment. If you're like me, you see solar panels around the neighborhood on the houses and it kind of seems like this mystery. How do you get solar power? Is it worth it? There's all these type of companies. To me, it was so intimidating for me to do and to look into. So frankly, I avoided it. It's made worse by the fact that when you go on and you try and look at reviews of solar power companies, all people say are bad things. So I wanted to give a positive feedback on solar panel. I'm not even going to tell you who my company is. This is not a plug for them. I kind of just want to go through the process that I had to go through to get solar panel on my house and give you some information in case you're curious. First, let's talk about how solar panels work. And to understand that, you have to understand how your house gets electricity. You have a company in your area. For me, here on Long Island, it's PSEG, and they supply electricity to your house. And that's what's referred to as the grid. Okay, when you receive electricity from the grid, you are receiving electricity from a company. So when you hear the term off the grid, that's pretty much meaning that they are getting electricity from other sources outside of the utilities company in their area. Now, what happens is you take electricity from that company and they charge you X amount of dollars per kilowatt hour is usually what they use. A kilowatt is just a unit of electricity. It's a unit of power that comes into your house. And these rates will vary, not only by company, but by state and also throughout the year, depending on how stressed that company is in the summer when there's a lot of electricity, to the winter when it's down, but it might be hard to get electricity to you. You are going to be charged a certain amount of money. It's usually in the cents per kilowatt hour every single month. Now for me, in a 1,300 square foot house, we use roughly 400 kilowatts every single month. And you can find that information out on your utility bill. Now, where does solar come in? Solar comes in, it sits on top of your house and it receives energy from the sun, and your house gets that energy directly from the solar panels, meaning you do not need that electricity from the grid. So when you're putting solar on your house, all you're doing is saying, no thank you utilities, I got that covered. And if you use above and beyond what your house solar can produce, then you'll go tap into the grid. Okay, so how do you get solar to do that? And how is solar good for you and good for the utility company? There's pretty much two options when getting solar power. You can either purchase the panels yourself and get them installed, and they are expensive. They can range from, depending on the size of your house, in the low thousands to the very, very high thousands. Or you can lease those panels from the company, meaning they're gonna come put the panels on your house. You do not own those panels, they do, and they're gonna give you certain warranties and stuff on your roof and the maintenance of those panels. Now on my house, we chose to lease the panels on our roof. Now, as somebody that's been listening to Dave Ramsey for so long, the word lease is like the worst word you could possibly use. But the way I thought of it was this. I figured out how much money I would be saving every single month, not paying a utility bill. Then I looked at how much it would cost me to put those solar panels on my roof. And then I figured out how many years it would take me to break even on that investment. And it came out to about 20 years, about the term of my lease. Now that's fine, because if I planned on staying here for 20 years, which I do, that would be great. But the thing that really made me think about it was, in 20 years, how much further are the advances in solar going to be? How outdated is my system going to be? In 20 years, when I'm done paying it off, am I just going to need to get a new one again? And also with leasing, I didn't see that as an asset. I mean, whether I lease or not, it brings value to the house, and I'm not trying to get an end result out of the panels. And you can leave in the comments below, maybe I'm wrong on this. But really what I was looking for was the monthly savings, and I did not want to be tied down into thinking I needed to pay them off and stay in this house for 20 years. So the question that I know some of you are having, Brad, didn't you just move into this house? Like, what's your data? What's your stats? Okay, to fill you guys in, I moved into my father's house, which has had solar for 3 years now. And my brothers did that transaction, and they're still here with me. So when I moved into the house, I had to have that lease transferred into my name, and I got all of the details, not only from the company, but from my brothers as well. We did a whole pros and cons analysis. I looked at the math, I looked at the numbers, and I made sure that it was right so that if I didn't want that purchasing the house, I wouldn't be able to get it. So here was the overall process, and then I'll tell you how much money it saved. Essentially, a salesman comes to the house, and they are going to evaluate your house depending on the direction of the house that it faces. Mine faces dead south, which is great. The area of your roof, the angle of your roof, and they're going to do a whole analysis of where the panels will go. They then took the measurements of my house and they made a 3D rendering of what the house would look like with solar and where they wanted to put the panels and why. After we approved that drawing, they then went to our town and they got all of the permits necessary to install all of the solar panels. They had a licensed electrician that was not a subcontractor. They worked directly for the company, came and hooked up all the electric into the panels and everything else after they were installed. And that installation had a 5-year leak-proof roof maintenance warranty. So if anything happened to the roof or it started to leak, there was a 5-year warranty on that. So after they had come and they put the panels on, and then their electrician came and hooked it up, my utilities company, not them, my utilities company came and put in what is called a net meter. So if you've seen the electric meter on your house, it spins or it's digital. What the net meter does is it can spin forward, but it also spins backwards as you give the utility company energy that you do not use. And I'll talk about how that might benefit you in a second. After the utility company comes, sets up that meter, you are good to go. You turn on the solar, you get an app, and you can monitor how much energy that solar panel is using every single day. So how does this solar company make money? Just like I paid the utility company for electricity, I pay the solar company for the electricity the solar panels produce. And how it saves me money is that it's roughly half the cost of a kilowatt from my utilities company. For example, and this is data from PSEG, in the last 10 years, the lowest kilowatt hour has been 18 cents. I looked at my bills not only for my old house, but back my father's bills over the last 5 years, and I saw that his average utility cost from PSEG was 25 cents per kilowatt hour. So as long as I was paying the solar company less than that, I was okay because that meant I was saving money. And I set a fixed rate for 20 years, the entire term of the lease, for 15 cents per kilowatt hour, meaning I am saving roughly half. And that 15 cents goes up 2.5% every single year according to my contract. But even so, in my 20th year, I'm still going to be paying less than what I'm paying right now to PSEG. And over the course of 20 years, that fee is only going to go up from PSEG. Right now, we are using far less than our solar produces. So how does that make me money? Well, my utilities company, not the solar panel, keeps track of the energy coming in that we don't use, and they put it in an electricity bank for their company. So if we have a stretch of sunny days, I build that bank with my utility companies as far as kilowatts are concerned. Then if I have some rainy days or cloudy days and I end up using more and needing energy from the grid, it takes from that bank first before it charges me the 24 cents per kilowatt hour, which is normal. I've been here for 2 months and I have not had a utility bill yet. The only utility bill I have is the $11, which is like the fixed cost for just having electricity at your house, but I have not had to pay, and my bank increases every single month. Now, my brother said that in the summer when the pool's going and the air conditioners are going, that we break a little bit even and sometimes we need the grid, but pretty much from October until May, we have not paid a utility bill in the past couple years since we've had solar. And it works out to about between $30 and $50 that I'm paying to my solar company every month. So my electric bill for a 3-story, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with a pool and central air cost me $30 a month for electricity. And for me, that was just completely worth it. I mean, I'm not only receiving clean energy from my solar, but I'm also saving roughly 40% of what my bill used to be over the course of the year, which is pretty standard to where the company told us we would be. All the negative reviews I see about solar are A, customer service. I've called them throughout this whole process. My company's been okay. And the fact that they should be saving more. The savings weren't what the company said. The way I see it If there's up months and down months, and even if I save 10%, I'm still saving money for clean, renewable energy. So if you're thinking about solar, let me just give you some advice. Call them and do your own research, and don't read the internet. People are very when they're behind a keyboard, if you know what I mean. On Instagram, I asked if anybody had any questions about solar. I'm gonna answer a couple of those questions now. The first one, how does it help you? And does it actually help? As I just said, it helps me by I receive clean energy at a lower price. You're gonna have to pay somebody for electricity, all right? I pay my solar company. If I own the panels, which is the big difference between owning and leasing, if I own the panels, I'd be putting that $40 that's produced in my pocket every month, but that'd be going to paying off the $10,000 panels that I have on my roof. So instead of paying down a loan, I'm just paying a lease payment to my solar company. When were my panels installed? They were installed a couple years ago. I believe the exact date was like 2016, March 2016. And in my area, which receives snow and weather and hurricanes and Northeast, I live right on the water. I've had no problem. I asked my brothers, they've never had to come out. They do a yearly routine maintenance checkup, make sure everything's good. And you can also measure the efficiency of those panels, which comes across in my app. And if the efficiency ever drops down, they automatically send out a technician to look at those panels and see why there was some inefficiencies. Would you go back and do the same again? So I didn't have enough research because I just started living here. But after that question was asked, I called up my brothers. I said, hey, the solar panel, I know we've talked about it. It's been a good deal, right? You know, like, is it good? And my one brother who just bought a house is like, bro, I'm putting it on my house. It's good. I like it. And my other brother agreed that if he was a homeowner, he would definitely consider looking into solar as well. So both my brothers who have been here for 2 years and haven't had an electric bill, and they have central air conditioning and a pool, and you know, they're happy with it. What was the upfront cost of getting solar? So because I leased it, there was no upfront cost. Literally, they did everything. They got the panels. It cost me $0. All I needed, or all my brothers needed, was a signature and a commitment that they would abide by the terms over the 20-year lease. So there was no money down to lease. Another question asked if it was covered in my homeowner's insurance. If I had bought the panels, yes, they would be covered under my homeowner's insurance. Because I leased the panel, the company that I leased them from, they're covered under their insurance. And this is something that you really have to look into your contract about, because there were certain things in there, like if a tree falls through the roof, but it doesn't affect the solar panels, then I'm liable under my own home insurance. But if something were to fall through, or we had a windstorm and a tree fell through the panels, that would be on them. If I owned them and wasn't leasing, yes, that would fall under my homeowner's insurance, and I would be able to get those panels fixed through insurance after my deductible was paid. And the last question, how do you get solar? Really do your research. If you have any neighbors that have it, I think that's how my brothers got it. I asked them, they're like, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure that one of the neighbors got it, and we kind of said, hey, you know, what's with the solar? What were the details? Because like I said, it can be intimidating, but that would be my first guess. Like, find somebody you know that has solar. If you're interested in the company that I have, there's no referrals. There's no, I won't make any money. If you're curious about it and who I use a big company. They're all across the country. If you're curious, just write me an email, drop me a DM on Instagram. I'll have no problem doing it. I just don't want to say the company's name on here and make anybody think that this is a biased review of solar in general. I hope this helped. This video came from questions from you guys, which I love. If you have questions about anything in my life and what's going on, please leave them in the comments below. Until I see you next time, guys, stay positive, work really, really hard, and be kind to others. I'll catch you on the next one.